That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And welcome to the fifth podcast covering the fifth and sixth rounds of So You Want to Be an Imagineer, Season 16. Purists versus Innovators.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jacob, I kind of made a little bit of a scheduling snafu when it came to Project 5, which was called Meals on Wheels. And that scheduling snafu was that I actually scheduled it on the same day that the freaking Super Bowl was going on. Now, Jacob, that's not very smart now, is it?
I wouldn't say so.
So, regardless, that was a bit of a fork in the road, folks. A bit of a bump in the road. But alas, after kind of reviewing the two projects that got submitted for Project 5, which we'll be talking about before we talk about Project 6, which will be the meat of this podcast, I gotta say, Pie on My Cake and Ace Astro respectively brought very, very good things to the purist and the innovator concepts in general, and it actually very much pleases me that Project 5 kind of stands on its own. It's like, hey, look, here's one really strong purist concept and one really strong innovators concept.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, so let's start with Pie on My Cake. So Jacob, obviously you're kind of a newcomer to the legacy of the game and everything, but Monkey had a style that Pie utilizes in his projects, especially lately, that is very much in line with what Pie is doing. And what I appreciate about Pie is that he's incorporating a level of humor into his work more and more.
Yeah, I noticed all that.
And there's just a ridiculous amount of Easter eggs in these. First of all, just props to continuing to push the bar in terms of like, hey, here's something that's never been done before. Actually laying out forum posts and editing them. Like, that might have been done somewhere down the line, but I think this is probably the best executed example of it that I can think of yet. It's definitely sets the standard for it going forward.
He definitely even laid out the ads.
I know, right? That's and of course one of the details that I had to appreciate was photos. The Enchanted Tiki Room is really cool, and I'm not just saying this to suck up to the judge. And of course, I love this. Actually took me a while to notice fully, but the Pie plays the least exciting Let's Play on the planet.
That was more caught by Bob Iger misses his mid-morning puppy burning to spray paint all off.
I mean, all of it is really funny. It's just like there's so many funny things to look at all the way through. It's like really just the Easter eggs make up half the project. Okay, but let's talk about the project itself. Oh, dear God. And of course, Mr. PBB Hole is is one of the people commenting, and Bojack, and Principal Skinner.
Yep.
I don't know. I think out of those three, I trust the middle one the most. Anyways.
All right.
Okay, so the actual ride itself, Jacob, it's quite simple, and it's quite I think it's executed very well. To me, it reminds me of a micro factory tour. I don't know how many of these there are at Epcot, but at California Adventure, we had them in the form of the Bowden Bakery tour and also the Mission Tortilla Factory, where you would kind of go in, see a miniature demonstration of like either bread or tortillas being made, and then like, hey, look, a free sample of bread or tortillas at the end. And for me, this basically just kind of takes that idea and puts it onto the boat ride. And I like how you have the trays. I like how you have the non-perishable fruits and vegetables. And really, overall, there's not a whole lot to complain about with the actual execution. It's very well detailed. it sticks very closely to the theme of the attraction. I think out of any attraction, this is a logical one to incorporate a dining experience onto it. What do you think?
Yeah, I was impressed. So, I mean, I have to agree. I mean,
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's fine. So let's go to the score. So creativity, I gave him a 9 out of 10.
I went with 8 for. I went with 8.
Okay. I gave him a 9. I really strong. I just think the living with the land, may be a little bit too obvious, which is why it wasn't a perfect 10 in my book. Realism, I went with an 8 out of 10 just because, just in general, there's concerns that I've been hearing about getting food on and off the ride and, litter and everything. But in general, I think this is pretty solid.
That's why I gave it an 8 as well.
All right. Detail, 8 out of 10. Not the most detailed presentation in the world, but for what was there, it was definitely strong. It got the point across.
I gave that a 9 for pretty much the same reasons.
Okay. And presentation, Jacob, just for being really just outside of the box project, 10 out of 10 for me.
Like, I pretty much gave it the same thing, 10 out of 10. Like,
okay.
Like the thought of everything that went into the ads. The ads, the links, and everything. It's like looked like an actual forum post almost.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved reading through it. So, what's your total, Jacob? I had 35 out of 40.
I got 34.
34. Okay, so then that moves us. Hold on. Let's combine our scores really quick. 35 plus 34. That would be 69 out of 80. I want to say.
Yep.
All right. So I will add. Give me one sec. Let me add that to the. This is the overall leaderboard right here, but for project 5, high 65 or wait 69 out of 80. Right, and then we'll go to the only other person who submitted last round, which was Ace Astro. And Ace Astro did an Innovators project, which I was very happy about because that very much caught on to the Purists versus Innovators theme. So the Innovators project was to sort of make a dining experience into a ride from the ground up, a new ride, and he chose the Rhine River Cruise. And the Rhine River Cruise, Jacob, is of course a scrapped World Showcase ride for Germany. You can still see scrapes and little bits and pieces of it from the Germany pavilion. Did you like this?
I did.
Yeah, I liked it as well. One of the things I really noted about it is just how much it flowed with the overall formula of what an Epcot show like something like Maelstrom would be. It's a little bit more elaborate than Maelstrom, but it has the same sort of feeling of like, all right, there's some present day stuff, there's some stuff looking into the future, and there's also a lot of history and a lot of culture woven in as well and into the actual attraction.
That's what Epcot's good for. It's like a celebration of world culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I will say, Jacob, one of the things that this project is lacking compared to Pie's presentation is while the actual ride was very well thought out and the ride system was thought out pretty well as well, with the really big wide cars and the big loading platform and everything. Really, we didn't get any menu at all, and that was one thing that was lacking. I really kind of wish we knew more about what was being served on this Rhine River cruise.
Probably some kind of German food, it seems.
I mean, I imagine it's probably like stuff left over from Beer Garden, but that's the thing. Like, just because he didn't really give us anything to work with, that's what my mind instantly goes to. It's like, oh, it's probably like just packaged meals from Beer Garden. I don't know. Anyways, overall very solid. I'm impressed with this concept art. It's very professional looking.
Yeah, it looks like it was professionally. His at least looks like it's professionally made.
Mm-hmm.
Why was the original one scrapped anyway?
I think it was just an issue of budget and probably spacing as well, but mostly budget as anything in like that era of Disney was, unfortunately.
I mean, I wonder if they could like even do it. I wonder if they could still do it.
Yeah, it might be possible. Okay, Jacob, so let's get to the scores on this one. For creativity, I gave it an 8 out of 10 because it is a kind of a repurposing of an old idea, but he did it really well.
I knocked a single point off for that.
Okay, so 9 out of 10 on your end.
Yep.
Okay, for realism, I gave him a 9 out of 10.
I kind of went with an 8 for. I mean, I guess they mentioned like probably budgetary reasons and like spacing issues. I mean, I could see like if he wants to fit everything in there, that require probably quite a bit of space.
I hear you. Okay, for detail, I went with 9 out of 10 as well. I thought everything was well planned out.
Other than the menu, yes.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I probably maybe should have gone a little lower than that.
I still gave it a 9, but
okay. Presentation, I gave it a 9 out of 10 just because of the really professional looking concept art.
As did I.
All right. Total, I have 35 out of 40.
As do I.
Okay then. Okay, so that measures up. That equals 70 out of 80, right?
Yep.
All right. So by 1 point, Ace Astro pulls the head of the pack and wins Project 5.
By 1 point.
Yes. So congratulations, Ace. And that means that Ace Astro is going to get 2 points onto the leaderboard, and Pie is going to get 1 point. So we'll update that right now. So Pie on My Cake is going to get 19 points. And then Ace Astro, he will bump up and actually now tie with Pie on My Cake and D. Hindley, who are all at 19 points. And of course, this makes it kind of a free-for-all going into the next round, Jacob, where D. Hindley, Pie on My Cake, and Ace Astro all have some of the more impressive projects. So really, the competition couldn't be fiercer going into the next round. I'm very excited.
And how many projects were in this one?
Only 2 were in Project 5.
No, I'm talking about 6.
Oh, Project 6, I believe 6 projects were submitted for Project 6.
So someone's going to get 6 points.
Yeah, someone's going to get 6 points, indeed.
Sweet.
All right, Jacob, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm very excited about this, folks. The competition's heating up. I feel like a sports commentator.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to So You Want to Be an Imagineer.
All right, so let's get to the Force experience. It's Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. So D. Hindley and Space Mountain, it's interesting. They both incorporated show elements into the augmented reality experience. When in reality, Jacob, I wasn't really thinking of something that was incorporating live actors into it.
Definitely an interesting aspect, to say the least. So, like the whole alternate reality thing was pretty interesting, to say the least, though, too.
Yeah, here's the thing with Galaxy's Edge. We just don't know. Galaxy's Edge is the future of theme parks, Jacob. It really is. There's so many variables. There's the ultimate guest control experience in the Millennium Falcon ride. There's the evolution of the e-ticket and Battle Escape. And then, of course, on top of all of that, there's the immersive land itself and the RPG elements that come along with it. So really, we're talking a lot of game-changing elements, not just for Disney, not just for Star Wars, but just, ripple effects for the entire theme park industry. So on that alone, I kind of give space a lot of freedom especially because augmented reality can be a lot of things. And, you know, really, I'm not going to knock him down very harshly for, you know, being above and beyond what I was expecting this prompt to be.
Yep. He's like, I can totally see what he did working within the confines of reality in a way.
Yeah, so basically what I was expecting and what he incorporated, and that's solid, is using your smartphone as a lightsaber, having that vibration, you know, basically giving you the feel, you know, having the photo pass thing. That's all there. That's all really good. It's just the show element that, while it wasn't what I was expecting, is still handled very well. And of course, because of the question mark that is how Galaxy's Edge is going to function, I can't really knock it down too much for realism.
Not really.
Okay. Let's see. I do like the idea of this PhotoPass stuff. Jacob, do you have PhotoPass on your trip?
I didn't.
Oh. I mean, to me, it seems a little overpriced at, like, you know, like, I think it's like over $100 for your package added on, but I don't know. If stuff like this is included, it seems like it might be worth it if you can get enough use out of it.
And since it was only me, I didn't really see much use in it. And it was like I could just take pictures of myself.
Yep.
I mean, like I can tell you, I have a phone myself, so it's like if I was going with others, like if I had like a group like in my family, I probably would have sprung for it. But considering it was just me, I decided, nah.
All right. Okay, so let's get to the scores for space. Hold on, let me scroll down a little on my other tab I have open up. All right, for creativity, I gave him an 8 out of 10.
Same here.
Okay, realism, 8 out of 10.
I went with 9 for that one, actually.
Okay. Detail, always a strong suit with space. I gave him a 9.
8.
8. All right. And presentation, I gave him an 8 out of 10.
I gave a 9.
Okay. 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8. All right. Solid all the way around.
We flopped around there.
Yeah, right. So total on my end, 33 out of 40?
34 out of 40.
34 out of 40, which means the overall total would be
67.
67 out of 70. All right. So let me go ahead, add that to the... Folks, I do very much intend to make like an overall leaderboard, and, you know, if links and everything by the end of the season. It's just with my new job and the podcasting schedule, I hate to make excuses and everything, but it's hard. It's hard to keep up with, and it's hard to like make sure everything's nice and pretty looking, and I'm very OCD when I go in on that. I don't like to leave posts not nice looking and, you know, nicely formatted. So by the end of the season, you will have a whole directory of all the projects turned in, all the scores, everything like that, you know, links to all the podcasts. But it's a work in progress. So I apologize for being a little on the fly about that in recent rounds. Okay, Jacob. So space gets a 67 out of 80. Let's move on to D. Hindley. Do you know how to pronounce the name of the Starnhammer?
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce Thor's hammer, Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Oh, I know I'm going to get this wrong. It's hard.
Close enough.
Okay, Jacob. So what I like about this is that it's a spiritual successor to the Sword of the Stone ceremony at Disneyland.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's like, and I can have incorporated like the whole Marvel theme park universe thing.
Yeah, that's kind of why I fell in love with this proposal in a way. This really stuck out to me because the thing is, the big difference between this and Space Mountain, not to diss on Space Mountain at all, because I very much enjoyed his proposal, and it was in line with what I was thinking. But in terms of the show elements, it was a big wild card to use the RPG stuff from Galaxy's Edge, whereas this is sort of a tried and true. I vividly remember when Sword in the Stone ceremony was on its way out at Disneyland, Jacob, and maybe like 10 to 20 people would gather for it during any given show. But you know what? Disney went all out with it. They had music, they had, the special effects, they had the Merlin actor. It was a nice little thing that went on in the castle courtyard that didn't draw a big enough crowd to be considered something like a bottleneck, but it was something that livened up the atmosphere. And then, of course, you had the Sword in the Stone itself, which is still there, which still provides a great photo opportunity and a wonderful sort of like, hey, look, like challenge your friends to pull the sword. No one can ever do it. And that's just the really fun thing about this proposal. And that's why I don't know, the more and more I think about this project, the more I like it, to tell you the truth.
I really like the story they give.
Of course, the one thing that concerns me is that Thor would definitely draw a way bigger crowd than Merlin would, and so by that account, I could see some bottlenecks happening, especially like with Tower of Terror, like kind of blocking that path to Bugs Land. But what are you gonna do? You still have that Guardians of the Galaxy dance party going on there in that same area anyways, and that doesn't really seem to cause too many issues. So, this is probably pretty doable.
I say the nay.
Another! Okay, so scores. I went with 8 out of 10 for creativity.
Actually, I went with the same for that.
Okay, hold on.
I swear I didn't mean to. I just swear I didn't copy your scores on purpose.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Realism, I went for 9 out of 10.
I went with 8, kind of thinking of the same reasons about like the whole crowd thing and all that.
Okay, I hear you. Presentation, a 9 out of 10.
Same.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Presentation, I did 8 out of 10, and then detail, I did 9 out of 10.
Okay, detail, I did 8 out of 10, and presentation was 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay, so same difference.
Pretty much.
Okay, so total 34 out of 40.
33 out of 40. Wait. Okay, hold on. We had the same ones, right? Like creativity was 8, realism was 8, detail was 8, and
no, realism was 9 on my part.
Okay, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah,
my mistake. So
I think that's another 67, right?
Yep, 33 is 33 and 64. 33 and 34 is 37.
Okay, so we might have an abundance of ties this round. We'll see how that goes.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Man, we're flip-flopping
for ties, folks. If you tie with a person, you still get the points. I just want to make that clear. So for example, if Space and D Hindley at 67 out of 80 end up being in first place, they'd still get the 6 points.
I just hope there aren't too many ties.
I know. Well, we'll see what happens.
And it's too late to adjust our scores.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Jacob. I mean, it's, folks are seeing on air that, it's... So anyways, let's get into the next one.
Little rodentia.
Little rodentia. So this is truly the first one that really captured exactly what I was going for with the prompt. And I'm not saying that as a slam in any way towards the last two that we've talked about, but this is definitely something that it wouldn't be big enough to be included on the park map, but it would be a diversion that's cool enough to be a memorable part of the park. It'd be something that I imagine a lot of photo ops would be taking place in. And I especially like the interactive elements they use with the app.
It'd be kind of interesting to see a little walled off area in the park just dedicated to Little Rodentia. You can't even see it. It's just they decided to put it there.
You know what it kind of reminds me of is in Storybook Land at Disneyland, there's Atlantica, which is hidden behind a waterfall.
Yeah, that'd be
So with Little Rodentia, like I said, I love the interactive elements. It reminds me of Jacob back in the day when Disneyland's Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters first opened. You could go onto the Disneyland website and there'd be an element where you'd be able to fire at the cars and the cars would fire back at you, like you'd basically control animatronics.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
that was something that kind of blew my mind as a kid, and there'd be like little, like very, very low resolution cameras on board or cameras like attached to these things, so it'd be like, it was literally a game between you and the people live at the park playing the game and going on the ride. I mean, it was freaking cool. And add even something that's a little bit like that, with going onto the app and being able to affect the stuff that's happening in this little corner of the park. That's something that I really dig.
I wonder why they don't do that in more aspects of the park.
Well, I know that when they do the World of Color show, they have some sort of contest or some sort of like trivia game or something on the Disney app that you can log into. And if you win, then you get to control the lights on the fun wheel for 1 minute.
Oh.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
Oh yeah. Which park is that at again?
California Adventure.
Ah.
Yeah. So Little Rodentia, yeah, just I really like that part of Zootopia too. It might be one of my favorite world building details of Zootopia.
It's a, pardon the pun, small detail, but it's pretty cool anyway.
All right. Also, kind of one of my few concerns with this proposal, kind of the main reason my realism score kind of dropped down a little bit is honestly, I don't think the theme vibes very well with the Oasis. From what I know about what the Oasis is,
I can see that.
because Zootopia is just very cartoony, it's very lighthearted, and the Oasis is very I don't want to say it's dark or anything like that, but the Oasis is very much built on a subtle atmosphere. It's very naturalistic.
Man, I didn't even know what the Oasis was, that didn't really affect too much of mine.
Okay, that's fine. So let's get into it. For creativity, I gave him a 9 out of 10.
I actually went with 8 for that.
All right. Realism, I had 8.
9.
So flip-flop around.
Again.
Detail, 9 out of 10.
8.
Oh, God, you're kidding.
Nope.
Oh, presentation, 8 out of 10?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, so total, I have 34.
33.
Oh, no, Jacob.
Gosh.
Oh, God.
How does this happen?
Oh, geez. When you realize that everyone is tying on air and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. All right, Ace Astro.
Oh, God. 67.
Oh, man. I swear to God, we did not plan this out in advance, folks. This is not our ideal outcome.
We've never had 3 ties before at once.
I actually think there was a 3-way tie at one point. It might have been the Dark Ride Project.
I think that's like our first one, though.
But keep in mind, this is like half the projects of the round have already been talked about, and it's all a 3-way tie.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, let's pursue onwards, Jacob.
Hopefully.
So, pie on my cake, I think this was the clear MVP of the project.
This one definitely has my highest score.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to tie. I think this is probably going to be the highest scoring out of the projects. I just love all the thought that went into this. The alternate timeline stuff is beautifully well done. It very much fits into the Purists versus Innovators theme of the season. especially all the alternate timeline stuff that I've been emphasizing with the Purists and Innovators throughout the projects.
And there's actually, I believe there's actually an episode of the new Mickey cartoon that was like based around Rainbow Cavern.
I could see it.
I think so. There's something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the thing I like the most about this, I mean, beyond just the general humor of Pi, like I love in this alternate history that includes Rainbow Cavern, all the rides in Galaxy's Edge were replaced by Jar Jar Binks attractions. I'm not sure why, as that has no connection to Rainbow Falls, but butterfly effect and all, I suppose. Just like, look at Jar Jar. He's just like mocking you, like, oh, this is the price you pay for getting this cool little detail. And that honestly is just freaking genius.
Like, it's one small detail, but Jar Jar.
Like, it's not just Jar Jar in one attraction. It's like all the land is completely themed to Jar Jar.
You also want more Jar Jar?
God. But you know what? It's a really damn good little detail, and I can't really complain about it affecting the rest of the land because, as Pi said, it's the butterfly effect, and it's just his sense of humor, so...
Yep.
Okay, first of all, you can tell he put a lot of research into the Rainbow Caverns. And of course, I worked at the Walt Disney Family Museum. One of the things I was asked about the most was the Mine Train through Nature's Wonderland on the model.
That's the episode of Mickey I'm talking about. They're actually called Nature's Wonderland.
There we go. Nature's Wonderland was a huge attraction, Jacob. Like it took up a Big Thunder Mountain, and then also like a big portion of where Star Wars Land is going as well. It was a massive train ride. And of course, Rainbow Caverns was like the legacy, sort of like the big thing at the end, the thing that everyone remembered.
Sounds like an interesting part of history.
Mm-hmm. And of course, one of the big things that I love is bringing over the Pandora technology, and I like how that's like, that's just a neat little way to do it, where it doesn't have to be a full land; it can just be a little side area that you can incorporate that sort of stuff into.
Kind of reminds me of those those tubes or glasses where they put colorful sand in.
Yeah, I do.
Kind of the way these looks kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, good pull. I can see that. Okay, so scores. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I used to have one of those things, and they were cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so scores for Pi creativity, I give him a 9 out of 10.
8.
8, okay. Realism, 10 out of 10.
9.
All right, detail, 10 out of 10.
9.
Presentation, 9 out of 10.
Same.
Okay, 38 out of 40 total on my end.
35.
35. Okay, so that would make it, I think...
Sorry, folks, we're not good at math.
I know. I think I want to say 73 out of 80.
What was yours?
38.
Yep, 73.
73. Okay, so all right. So we have a clear front runner here, folks. Thank God.
Someone who's not getting 6 points. I don't know if they are getting 6 points, but
well, here's how it works. Pi is going to get 6 points, and then Space, D. Hindley, and Ace Astro down the line are all going to get 5 points, assuming no one else gets above 67 out of 80. And then 5th place and 6th place will get 2 points and 1 point respectively.
I just can't believe we have managed a 3-way tie.
Okay, so let's move on to Pixie Princess, who has the purple wall. First of all, I just want to welcome Pixie Princess into the competition. This is her first project. And while, of course, it is a little late, and we have the whole standing thing, and, I don't know. The odds of getting into the Elite Eight might be a little slim. I do appreciate any project, and we are very happy to talk about it, both on air on the podcast and through my written reviews. So thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy your stay. Jacob, do you know anything about this purple wall?
I never heard anything about it.
You've never heard anything about it? I love how bluntly you say that.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just like, to me at Disneyland, there's the porch on Main Street, which is like just like these two rocking chairs that kind of like look out over, you know, a proverbial porch, and it gives you a great people watching view of Main Street. It's just like a nice little area to just sit and people watch and relax. I usually go there at the end of the day and, you know, get some hot dogs from Coke Corner because Main Street's open an hour after the rest of the park. So the purple wall, though, I imagine it's just kind of like a transitioning point from Main Street to Tomorrowland from the sounds of it. And I got to admit, Jacob, well, this is a very simple project. Functionally, I think it works really well. It fits within what I was asking for from the project. And I really don't have a ton of complaints about it. You know, I like that at nighttime it really shines. I think that's something that Disney's doing more and more, and it's great. It kind of encourages people to stay in the park and take in the details of the nighttime atmosphere of the park more.
Kind of like Pandora and everything.
Exactly. Which I really need to find time to do Pandora at night on my trip, Jacob.
I think that was one thing I actually got as a, like, considering I like booked to their website, like right near when it was opening. I was actually able to do that without get in there at night without any problems.
Nice.
Like, you know, like basically, you know, like, you know how they have nighttime, then they have after hours where the park's officially closed.
Yeah.
I was able to get there like after the park officially closed.
Oh, nice, sweet.
You know, like something like resort members only were able to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, not a lot going on in this project, but definitely a solid entry, and especially for someone's first time playing the game. So let's get into the scores. I think I was probably a little bit more lenient on her than you were because, you know, because I was just very sympathetic to the first time element. But regardless, creativity, I actually gave it 8 out of 10.
I went with 7 on that one.
Fair enough. Realism, just because it's so simple, Jacob, I really see no reason to not give it a 10 out of 10.
I feel kind of bad, but I gave it an 8, actually.
All right, it's fine. I don't mean to grill you on it or anything. Detail, definitely the thing that really wasn't there. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
That's what I gave it.
Okay, and presentation, 8 out of 10?
7.
Okay, total, I have 33.
29.
29, okay, which makes a total of...
33 plus 29 is 62.
62. Oh, thank God we didn't tie. Okay. So...
Welcome to the game, Pixie Princess, though.
Yeah. Pixie, 62 out of 80. All right, let's get to the last project submitted.
Magic Feather.
Magic Feather. So Magic Feather has had kind of an interesting run. She's submitted in almost every round this season, except for the last round. And honestly, she's been kind of near the bottom of the pack, but you can always see the potential in her work. Her Achilles heel, if you will, has always been detail. And I think with a project like this really shines to her strengths, because this is just, it is a very, very simple idea. But Jacob, this is, I gotta say, this is far and away my favorite submission from Magic Feather this round, or this whole game, this whole season.
I think this is my highest scoring project for her.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, I definitely think it's mine as well. And I kind of fell in love with the idea of this. It's super simple, but it's to me, this is something that I could see the Disney fan base just going nuts over. Like it's a simple idea, but I could see them just going like, oh, did you touch, like just having like the whole databases and forums and Reddits devoted to different color combinations and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's I would really like that. I really love that.
I mean, yeah, this just it just to me completely just fits the bill of exactly what I was looking for. It sort of reminds me of something that you would find in like the golden age of Epcot, at Innovations, back when Innovations was still exciting to explore.
So I just love to see what some of these characters would have to say. Would be even cool just like they said something different every time you talk to them.
Yeah, I did kind of note in the detail department that is, I would have liked to at least had had a couple sample phrases for each character, because that would have been pretty easy to look up, a couple quotes from each guy. But
I mean, I know that. I mean, that I know this is too much to ask, especially for something like this. But if they could turn it into something like Turtle Talk, that'd be awesome.
oh man, I mean, yeah, that'd be an attraction in its own right. But I don't know, just get like a number of different combinations of quotes for each character. That shouldn't be too
Like I said, the
hard.
Turtle Talk. Like I said, the Turtle Talk thing was pushing it, but but still, this would be cool. That's still, I'd really like to see that kind of thing.
So overall, honestly, I think out of all the projects, this kind of like really fits the bill of exactly what I was looking for from this prompt, which was something very simple, something that wouldn't exactly create a bottleneck by any stretch, but something that would be very fun and very engaging and keep people coming back, and something that would liven up the area.
Yeah, it would be totally interesting to see that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
To see these like I said, the whole different things. I mean, like I said, sorry, I'm kind of rambling.
No, it's fine.
Since you pretty much said all I wanted to say.
Okay, so creativity, I gave it a 10 out of 10.
I went with 8 for probably because of the maybe I should have placed that in for detail, but it was because of the whole lack of dialogue options. I think that's why
Okay.
I did that. But maybe I should have maybe I should have given it like a bit higher and marked that under detail instead.
All right, realism, I have 10 out of 10 as well.
9.
Okay. Detail, I have 8 out of 10.
7.
7, all right. Then presentation, I have 7 out of 10.
I went with 8 for that.
Oh wait, I have 8 out of 10 for presentation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went with 8 as well for that.
Okay, so I have total 36
plus 32, 68.
Oh, thank God.
Wait, no, Magic Feather actually ranked higher than 3 others.
Wow. Okay. So that makes the overall score in this round
Wow, that's
very
surprising.
interesting, I've got to say.
Magic Feather actually ranked above Space, D. Hindley, and Ace Astro.
Yeah, very impressive, Magic Feather. Great job. Okay, folks, so here's how the score is going to go down. Pie on my cake for getting first place is going to get 6 points. So that will put him up to 25 out of, well, not out of anything, really. So Pie on my cake gets 25 points.
And right.
And then I'll just kind of add Space in. So Space, D. Hindley, and Ace Astro are all going to get 4 points.
Magic Feather gets 5.
And then Pixie is unfortunately only going to get 1. Okay, so I'm going to add Space in next. So Space is going to get 4 points, I said. So he's going to go to 30 points. And then Pie on my cake is at 25 points. Okay, D. Hindley also gets 4 points, which pushes him up to 23 points.
You should have delete the second pie on my cake.
Right. Thanks.
D.
Oh
Hindley.
dear. I think we have a tie once again with D. Hindley and Ace Astro. They seem to be very neck and neck this season, Jacob.
Oh.
Because Ace Astro also advances to 23 points. And then, yeah, definitely the most interesting development here is Magic Feather getting up to 15 points.
Going ahead of D Cool, of T Cool, I mean.
Yeah, now, of course, people like T Cool, Disney Man, Disney Dad haven't submitted in a few rounds, so I'm guessing that's probably just because of personal scheduling reasons, which is fine. But yeah, Magic Feather, keep it up and you'll definitely end up in the top 6. And if not, I mean, there's definitely, I think Magic Feather at this point is kind of like the big wild card for the Elite 8. Like, if she doesn't get into the top 6, I think she's definitely a prime candidate for being a wild card pick because she's really proved herself this last round.
Yeah, I said I honestly wish I gave her more points.
It's fine. It's fine. But, I mean, as long as you gave her 1 point, one more, just that 1 point to pull ahead of that ridiculous 3-way tie we had going on.
Yep.
Okay, Jacob. So let's take a sneak preview at the next project. We have Project 7, New Frontiers. Frontierland has always been a problem area of Disney parks for me. Paris certainly does it the best with its unified Thunder Mesa storyline. But stateside, it seems this area is little more than a footprint for Big Thunder and Splash. Not only do the mountain attractions overshadow the rest of the land's appeal, it's also got the problematic theme of something that was iconic in the 1950s but has long since diminished in the pop culture landscape. The goal of this project with both prompts is to breathe new life into the classic Disney land. Purists! Your goal will be to repurpose the area currently being used for Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and hypothetically reimagine it as an expansion of Frontierland. This new area may take inspiration from Discovery Bay, but may not be a direct clone. An emphasis should be placed on sparking new life into the tired Old West atmosphere that the land represents. Innovators! For this project, you will design a standalone e-ticket for either stateside Frontierland. The goal with this attraction should blend state-of-the-art technology with the classic Americana appeal of the land's theme. You may design a mini area to house the attraction, but the purist prompt should have more of an emphasis on the overall land, where this should be very much focused on the singular attraction. Good luck, folks. This project is due Friday, February 16th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So, Jacob, we're taking a trip to Frontierland. This is a very meat and potatoes classic Disney project. Are you excited to see the results?
Yep. I was I actually spent a bit of time in Frontierland at Disney World when I'm on my trip, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, Frontierland, I feel like, is a very favorite Disney theme for Imagineering folks, but it doesn't get often enough love in terms of the actual stuff that gets brought to it in the Disney parks. So I'm very excited to see the results. I think there's a lot that can be done. Joker's Wild, my good friend, actually, claimed that this was the best prompt of the season thus far.
It's definitely an interesting one to see.
So. And of course, Jacob, hold on. Sorry, I thought I had a... Okay, so if you look at my avatar, which is always a tease at the next round, this is more important than ever because Project 7 is going to be the second to last time that you can turn in points to submit for the Elite 8. And Project 8 will be the very last time, and this avatar is, of course, teasing Project 8. This avatar, Jacob, if you can't read it, is a very, artistic, sort of stylized version of the Carousel of Progress, and
it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Indeed, indeed. So, Jacob, that's all I can tell you about the prompt, is that it will feature the Carousel of Progress and the themes of the Carousel of Progress in some way, shape, or form. Of course, the Carousel of Progress is very much a unifying thing with the Purists versus Innovators format, and I am very excited to have that as the last round that you can submit scores for the Elite 8 in. But in the meantime, folks, thank you so much for joining us. I really love this round. I'm glad that we're back on track. And yeah, tune in next time.